and goes back down. Just
Good evening. I'm here with my mallet. Good evening and welcome to the Water Quality Management Committee. I'm Virginia Bali-Viela and I'm the chair, vice chair. Eric will be along about 8 o'clock along with Sia. They had a previous speaking engagement. But we're going to start the agenda because we have a fairly lengthy one. The first item is the eco-toilet presentation by Wynn. And you should all have received 3 documents that he sent. And I would like to sort of focus the discussion on one document at a time. So I'm going to start with the first one, which he rightly recapitulates a vote that we took in February authorizing $10,000, up to $10,000, for education and marketing having to do with eco-toilets and benefits. And we've been sort of waiting for a plan to come forward as to how that $10,000 might be spent. So basically the committee agreed that this amount of money should come out of Article 17 for that purpose, but we haven't had any specifics. So I'm hoping, Wynn, tonight we can get 2 specifics.
Well, yeah, I don't think we can get too specific tonight, but I've presented all the information that I had and that I worked out with Matt in a meeting we finally were able to have last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I had added to some of the stuff that Matt and I talked about because we weren't able to spell. He just has had no time to.
I understand, yes.
Does everybody have a copy? I have copies here.
You have an extra. Do you need one?
Yes, it would be good to.
do you have an extra?
Yeah.
I read it, but I don't have the hard copy.
Okay.
Anybody else does not have a hard copy?
The press, welcome to the press.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to share this, or you have it on you?
I would like to, by the way, I would like to thank both.
Are you also press?
No, I'm just Susan.
Oh, welcome.
Oh, yes,
Give
sure.
one to her too? Absolutely.
Oh, no, it's okay. No, I'll stay.
Would you like one? Well, I got to keep one for myself.
Absolutely.
I would like to start out by thanking the press, both the Enterprise and the Cape Cod Times, for the articles that they've had in the past. We've gotten a lot of publicity about in the last couple of weeks about the eco-toilet project in the Little Pond area. And I'd like to thank the press for doing that. We appreciate that. But let's go back to this. We had this proposal was made by John in February to authorize an expenditure of $10,000 from Article 17 for education and marketing programs about eco-toilet use and benefits. And Matt and I, at that time, had talked about it, and we also brought back to the committee a sort of roughed out idea of a proposal, and that is on the second page.
But that's longer range.
That's longer range.
And that's why I said I want to try and
okay.
keep this conversation focused
Right.
on the immediate, because,
This is longer range.
okay.
But it seems to me that the immediate issue that we have is to support the eco-toilet betterment exemption program in whatever ways we can, to see if we can get people into it and to provide information to them in a timely manner so that by September they're able to actually go forward with things. This proposal is intended to do that. I talked it over with Sia in some detail the other day, and Sia does not agree with this proposal. She says, we do not need to do what I'm proposing here.
Okay.
I disagree with her. I think it has advantages in doing it the way that I'm proposing to do it, and I'd like to discuss it with you this evening.
Okay, good. And get input from each of the
And
members.
get input from people on that. Yeah. Let me get a pencil while I'm at it.
Okay.
So I can-
And while he's doing that, I think we should say that the town manager's office, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, has mailed a letter to all of the 1,480 properties within the Little Pond Sewer Service Area. And that letter explains the sewer project, explains the eco-toilet program, includes the steps for being part of that program, what's expected. So in a small package of 4 pages, which went to each property owner, not necessarily a renter, but each property owner, notifying them, and that letter went out 10 days ago.
Right.
And there was a big, the entire regulation was published in the enterprise.
In the enterprise.
That's a
At a
good
cost
point.
of $800 to the Water Quality Committee.
Okay,
So we
Yeah.
are spending money publicizing.
I think that's worthwhile.
No, I mean, it was
Absolutely.
big, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
talking to the person, I said, we like people to read it. And she says, I didn't quite say money's not an object, but I said, we want it to be useful, because legal ads are like that.
yes,
That's right.
I noticed, it was a full column, the Enterprise
Did a good
featured it
job.
in a way where you could clearly see it, and it wasn't in such small letters that most people wouldn't read it.
And the Cape Cod Times had a front page out, according to,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. They've had 2 articles in the
Yeah.
past
Well-
couple of weeks about that.
Maybe I can cut to the chase here. I have no problem if you run a workshop, but looking at the list of participants, you don't have to pay any of them. What's the 3,000 for? Why does it cost anything?
I think you're going to have to pay the plumber, if you get plumbers or people like that, I think you're going to have to pay them for their time.
No,
for one thing.
you don't pay plumbers for an estimate, plus townwide advertising.
Maybe not, maybe not.
Certainly not $3,000.
Well, it's, I put this out there to ask, what do we have to spend on this? And what do we have, I put a $3,000 item on it because I think that we will have some money involved in doing it.
Well,
But,
and it has to be approved by the selectmen, and so
That's right.
that's why
That's right.
I'm going to try and push the conversation so that we end up with some specifics, and we also have a reality check. Will this actually cost money or not? The other thing that you have in this list is that if the selectmen hold a public meeting, and I believe they're going to do that in mid-August, then you would like to have a table with, and we didn't get into specifics of who's at the table, but the point is, you would specifically have information on eco-toilets there. And I think that's an excellent idea.
Sia supports that very much. She wants to be
Okay.
sure we do that,
Good, okay, all
whatever we
right,
do.
okay.
Um,
So we're virtually certain the selectmen will hold a public meeting the way we did in T-Ticket at the school in June, right? I think it was
That's
June.
one, yeah, and it's like you said, the middle of August, whenever we can get
Right.
either the elementary school, or if we want air conditioning, we go to the library, but,
At the library, that's a good idea. Yeah.
but, I didn't.
Okay. So,
And just, on April 2nd, the Mary Vista Heights Association is having an annual meeting.
In August.
August, I'm sorry.
August
And you
2nd.
should approach them if you want to have something at that's their meeting. They invited me just to go over a brief thing.
I got
on
a-
sewers.
I got an email from them yesterday.
Oh, good, okay.
But they didn't say what date. It's August 2nd.
I put, it's in at the, what do you call it? The yacht club down at the Falmouth Heights, no, the
Okay.
yacht
Falmouth
club.
Yacht Club?
I think what's the name of that yacht club?
yeah, there
I'll
is,
send you the specifics.
they meet on the second floor.
Yeah.
um,
And I wrote.
Because it's Falmouth Heights, Mara Vista, and that's,
yes.
so you will get residents who are not within the sewer district, but you will also have those who are.
And you get the seasonal residents.
Is it for both the Falmouth Heights Association and the Mary Vista?
Yes.
One organization.
Okay, because there are 2 organizations I wrote to.
There's T-Ticket Civic Association also.
Okay, the T-Ticket Association was the one that replied to me and says, we're having a meeting in August. It's the Mara Vista Heights Association that didn't reply to me, and they're having one on the 2nd.
Right, and the T-Ticket one, Cheryl Williams, is primarily year-round. And they didn't, I said I could come and speak there if you want. They were one of the ones pushing to have something sponsored by the town,
Instead,
Yes.
yeah, instead of one of their meetings?
in lieu of their annual meeting.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
From what I understand.
I wrote back to them and said, if you want someone there, I'm willing to provide somebody there, but, and he said he'd invite me to the meeting, but I could come to the meeting. So okay, but that would be at the Falmouth Yacht Club.
Whatever, yeah.
The Falmouth Yacht Club is there on the harbor in the Heights, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah. It would be at the Falmouth Club, or at or wherever
The
those.
T-Ticket
T-Ticket school.
Civic. It's the annual meeting, the people like to get in and get out.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but individual people who have
Yeah.
questions, if you have a table, or if you just say, I'm here after the meeting,
Right.
then that's the way you,
With brochures and handouts.
yeah.
I'd like to also point out, I said up to 3,000. I didn't say 3,000. I didn't,
Right, I
for a
understand.
number of different things, not just one thing. And there may be some advertising we want to do, there may be some some publications that have to be put out. I don't know what's going to come out of this in detail.
Right.
I really don't know.
Well, I agree with Steve that what's been listed so far does not have, in my mind, trigger really any expenditures. So I wrote down a few things to just ask what everybody thinks. Do you want a 1/4 page ad in the Enterprise that can highlight the issues of the program and again say, here's who you contact? You could have a 5-minute, yourself or Sia on the radio.
Yes.
You could do an even longer thing on the cable TV. I'm sure they would be happy to pay to be paid for some information on that. And I was just sort of reaching out. You could even hire a person to go door to door and say, "Do you have any questions?" Well,
Okay.
the point is, I'm trying to get specifics. If you're going to go to the selectmen with a plan, you got to be specific.
And they will. The other thing is you have the two, and Ron's done it very well with energy. You have the 2 minutes before every selectmen's meeting. And someone from the eco toilet people could get up and say, I'm here to remind you, I don't know if it'd be as nifty as Ron's, call 1-800-toilets or something. And,
I wouldn't say that.
well, no, but I mean, it was a nice, nifty, eye-catching.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ron, what do you think?
Those are excellent suggestions, by the way.
You can get interviewed by The Point for free. And
Yeah.
public service announcements are free. You have to pay the Enterprise, but they're good guys. They need to be paid.
I just stand and talk about the energy efficiency program.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I'm on occasion to be there.
At the
So
selectmen's meeting?
Yeah. So I just
Okay.
give it, and then I just sort of kind of contact a little bit about it. And that, and this winter was good because it was cold and dark and forbidding, so that it might have
Yeah.
caught some interest.
Okay.
So, but also, anyway, I don't want to go into this right now.
Right.
What I'm hearing is that you don't have objections to the general idea. You want more specific things to be put together.
So whatever the dollar amount is makes sense,
Yes,
because this dollar amount doesn't make sense with what's listed.
yes.
And we have July 28th to get on the selectmen's committee if you feel we want to get this approved.
Okay.
I think it was the 21st, they're not meeting.
They're not meeting on the 21st?
At least, that's
Okay.
subject to change. And then the next one's the 28th.
Okay.
So they're meeting on the 28th. And they're not meeting on the 21st.
Okay, and do you know what their August schedule is?
No. They're trying to meet every other week.
Oh, okay.
For the summer anyway. So.
All right. So then they probably wouldn't be.
So they met on the 14th.
All the zero cost things don't need to be approved by the Board of Selectmen,
Is
right?
that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, right.
So we can say, well, we will plan various things that seem to us reasonable to do. And C and I and Jerry and other people can argue about them and decide what is best to do.
Discuss, well, the committee will decide what you want to do.
Excuse me? Yeah.
The
well,
committee decides, and I try to implement. I may or may not like all of them, but.
Okay. But the committee can decide, they don't have to decide, they don't have to micromanage every detail of what they do.
No, but I do think that we need some sense of, we've been waiting for a plan, and so
Yes.
we do need
Yes.
some specifics.
Also, psychologically, since we pretty much agreed that everything you listed should be free, and 60 or 70% of the other things that we've collectively thought of tonight should be free, it won't look good if you come purposely just find something that costs $3,000.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Why don't you make a motion to say at least up to 500 for an ad?
Eric wanted to hold off on any
Okay,
motions,
okay.
okay? He wanted a clear discussion, wanted specifics,
Right.
and I think ultimately he really would like a piece of paper that says, these are the following things that are going to be done, and these are the people that are going to do it. Because it's not only what are we going to do, but who's going to write the ad, or who's going to do the interview, and so on. So it's going to involve,
Yes.
members of the committee.
Yes, it will.
It just won't happen by itself.
I want to recapitulate for Sia that I've said that this first thing that we're talking about, that the basic idea of holding these workshops is one that you disagree with, but that you strongly agree with the idea that if the selectmen do hold a meeting, that we should have a table and that we should have things going on there. That's what I said. So I think I correctly interpreted what you said.
I don't think I strongly, I definitely agree that if the Board of Selectmen have a meeting, that the eco-toilet, absolutely, I mean, without question. I don't know if I strongly disagree about another meeting, I don't see
You don't see the need for it.
the need for it.
I think you'll get much quicker action and higher level of understanding if you're in places where you can talk to people or that you reach out to people. The only other thing I could think of in the sort of workshop nature is that the Green Center has set a price on hourly, you know, for opening up. You could advertise that it would be open on a certain time and we would hire them to be open for 2 hours, and because there you have, you know, the actual types of things that could be installed. And again, it just helps people grasp whether it's something they want to do.
Is that one of the things that we could put some money in here for, is a minor amount of money to have the open
I
for
think
those
so.
times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I would,
John, you haven't said anything so far.
I guess I would ask, if we were thinking about another advertisement in the enterprise, is what specifically would we be targeting? Who'd be the target group that
Right.
we haven't hit so far? So we've had fairly good publicity in the last month
Yes,
to
we
catch a lot of the early summer people. Now, is there another group of summer people in August that it would be worth trying to hit again?
Right, I'm not sure, because it's the homeowners that you want to reach. And I made that suggestion just to try and get you to understand what I mean by specific, and I'm now going to yield the chair. I'm just going to move over.
You've got the businesses you haven't targeted yet. Go down to the Chamber of Commerce and see if they would have you come to one of their meetings.
Right. I think that's worthwhile. I talked the other day at the meeting on Monday night. I talked afterward with Mark Fenneran, who has said he's talked with several businesses who are interested.
Well,
in learning more about it.
there's where going door to door
That's
might be a little more effective, because you have to find the right person to have the conversation with.
Right. And we have few enough businesses so we could contact some of them that might be worthwhile.
Pretty much. I don't know.
Anyway,
But I do think that we have to have a reality check here. It's so that it's not only what might be done, but who's going to do it, because Sia's pretty busy
yes.
already. So I don't
we
know
either
whether
have to hire
you and
somebody.
Ron
Yeah.
or...
Either we have to hire somebody or we have to have one of us, or both. I mean, we go ahead.
We're gonna hire another eco-toilet consultant?
No, just,
No, that would be too...
I don't have time to advertise.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time you hire him, October 31st will be here.
yeah, I think I'm prepared to do as much as I can. We've had wall-to-wall people in our house for a while, and we won't
Yes.
have any in August.
Good.
So I do have some time. And I'm very interested in pushing this forward now at this time and seeing whether we can do something with it.
Okay.
So I'm willing to put a considerable amount of my own time into doing that. I'm already making, that's something else again. We all won't talk about that for a minute. I'll talk about it later. I'm doing something else at the moment. As for, is one of the things that I handed out, this letter I wrote to residents and businesses?
You've already sent that, I gather, because I received it through the T-Ticket Civic Association, Paul Asta.
I sent it to the T-Ticket Civic Association. I sent it to the Mara Vista Association. And I heard from the T-Ticket Association, they said, we sent it out.
Yeah, they did.
The Mara Vista Association, I haven't heard from. They just said someone will get back to you. I also sent
I
a,
can report they did send it out because somebody
Okay.
who got it from the Mara Vista Association.
so both of those have
Seems to
gotten this letter in this form, in the form in which I wrote
Yeah.
it here.
Yep,
I wrote another form at the request of I wrote a slightly different phrasing which would make it possible for the enterprise to publish it. It had to be directed to the editor, and you couldn't use you couldn't refer to the people in that area
okay,
directly. You had to refer, this is the information we'd like to get out to them
I see.
and express. And I sent that in, and I hope it comes out tomorrow in the newspaper.
Okay,
I hope so.
all right,
Um,
all right.
I sent it in on Tuesday evening, and then I revised it on
Mhm.
Wednesday. Maybe you'll get it on Friday, maybe it won't. I don't know the story on that one.
Neither does the reporter.
Either as a letter, or in my view, or whatever comes out.
You wouldn't do letters.
Yeah.
Okay,
In any case, that has been done, and it seems to me that the idea would be, you can't possibly get too much information to people about things like this. They don't see it, they don't see it, they don't see it. And then finally they do see it if they see it enough time.
Unless it costs someone to get the information out.
Yeah, then you have to watch out how much you spend on it.
Right.
But I think before you have a meeting, I think having a little blurb about why you're having the meeting, which contains some of this kind of information, might be very useful. What you're going to do at the meeting, why they should be there. And this-
Again, this is a bit circular. You will need to be contacting the owners of the property. Not people who are renting, and we know that this area is
Yeah.
2/3 rentals.
Right. And I don't know how you get to many of the owners. I don't have any. Do you have any good ideas about how you get to the owners?
So you send a letter that's expensive.
Yeah.
The town of Falmouth.
The
Who
town,
sent
What-
it back?
and
How
the
much
town
did that-
already did.
How much
You
did
don't
that
want-
cost?
The
by
town
the way?
just did it.
$1,700.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did they come back, the letters?
There's only half a dozen that came back, but it takes a while, sometimes,
Yeah.
But still, that's a pretty low.
Yeah, that's a low return so far.
Right.
yeah.
I might add, since the calls have actually started coming in from the area, there's a lot of word of mouth going on right now.
Yes.
I think the timing was perfect because everybody's there. And there's small neighborhoods and the neighbors actually talk to each other. And I've been hearing, across the backyard, did you get this letter about so people have actually, I would say there's some momentum that's building from people in the area talking to each other because the town sent a letter to everybody in the area. So I think it's actually been very effective, plus the T-Ticket Civic Association mailing it out and the other group. And it's not just that they mail it out to their people talk to the other people. So there's absolutely word of mouth going on, and I'm glad.
Plus the front page of the Cape Cod Times.
That's right.
yesterday.
Today did it.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's gotten more publicity than
We
the
could have
war,
paid for
the
it.
war in Iraq.
Yeah. Right.
It needs it.
Which then argues that the best thing is to have ample resources at their meetings, these two
Yes.
annual meetings. Target that.
Yep.
Doesn't cost us anything.
Right.
And they're there.
Right.
So it's not a case of you have to go collect them or tell them to come to a specific time, which conflicts with their sailing or
Just
whatever.
having materials that you can give them
Yes.
at those meetings.
Right.
And make sure that Sia isn't burdened because you want her to have maximum time to respond to real inquiries
Right.
from real prospects.
That's right.
Because if the selectmen already sent out a letter that essentially says, we're going to bill you, and the only way out of it is either pay us or get an eco-toilet, if they don't respond to that, what are they going to respond to?
Another suggestion, get some with a pickup truck, put an eco-toilet in the back, and park at Stop and Shop with handouts. People don't see them, they still think it's an outhouse,
Yeah.
and they don't understand it's a porcelain throne.
Right back to the beginning of what we were proposing to
But I mean,
do
but that's
2 years
that-
ago.
That's
Yeah.
simple and it doesn't
Yeah.
cost
Yeah.
money. Hopefully we don't have to rent
Right.
a truck, but I mean, it's a flatbed or something, or a trailer. You
I
can't
think of a
use
couple
it.
of people that might do it right now. That's actually not a bad idea.
It's
So
not a bad
I'm hearing a
idea.
plan that suggests you, Win, are going to go to these two meetings
Yes, I am.
with all the material
I am.
that we have available.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think I can commit to doing that.
Yeah.
And it seems to me out of this may come, if there's enough people interested, it may be useful to try to get a meeting together in August to bring the people who are interested together. It may be interested. I don't know.
It's the site visits.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think-
everybody wants to know about their house,
Yes.
not the group. They want to know about their house.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to say I disagree in the sense that I think you're right, but I think you gain a great deal by having people talk to one another who are interested in doing it with a group of people who are going to actually be concerned with it in one way or the other. I think it would be good, for example, to have people who have eco-toilets in their homes be able to talk with people about it. I think that would be very
Another
good.
thing, try to get a booth at the Falmouth Road Race. Everybody comes through there. I don't know if they have booths, but, you know,
I'm not
or at least in the parking lot
they
outside.
have- But again, our target audience is 480 property owners.
if you bring a toilet to the Falmouth Road, it's gonna,
No, I meant the exposition that they have at the high school. Oh, yeah, it may be. I'm sorry.
Remember your target.
I'll strike out a booth at the Falmouth Road Race. But maybe something at the,
they'll be lining up to see it.
and use it.
And you will not want to take it home at the end of the day.
Right. And what about the market?
The
farmer's
Stop
market.
and Shop?
Yeah, farmer's market.
Farmers market.
Downtown.
I just meant stop at farmer's market.
Your target audience is
Yeah.
property owners.
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
is true.
It's
That
not.
is true.
Now, the farmer's market for the larger
Yes,
spread of the
yes,
idea,
Yeah, this other part of it we're
that's
talking
like a
about,
next
yeah.
year project.
Mhm.
That actually might
Yeah.
be more productive.
Also, you want to lean on these installers and suppliers.
All right.
If they aren't going to support this,
Yeah,
there's
that's
something
true.
wrong.
Well, yeah, let's have,
John,
yeah.
what do you think?
So the selectmen have imposed a deadline on when people meet. I would think that a month before that deadline, if we put an ad in the Enterprise saying that the Green Center will be open on Saturday from 9 until 12, for those of you in the Little Pond area that might be interested in actually looking at some of these, that then, you know, as that deadline approaches, gives them an impetus to, if they're really thinking about it, before that deadline arrives, let's go out to the Green Center and actually look at these things.
Are you thinking about the October 31st deadline?
Yes.
Yes.
Then you have to do it
Way
long
before
before that
that,
time,
yeah.
because Sia, you've said that it would take a couple of months to get everything through. Maybe you could do it in a month at the least, to get everything done.
Well, here's the sequence. The selectmen are going to have a public meeting mid-August.
Right.
Prior to that, you're going to have 2 annual meetings.
Or after, one might be out.
One might, all right, so
Yeah.
let's
But
presume
in
one
August.
before and one after.
There's 3 events in August.
Yeah.
already.
Already, yeah.
Already.
Already.
All right, and so it would seem to me as soon as those 3 events, boom, 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 have occurred, then you decide, does it make sense to put an ad in saying the deadline is the 31st, and then we could try,
Do it right after Labor Day.
yeah.
Is that a deadline for having done all that paperwork?
That deadline is having started
Yes.
putting in your toilet.
It's not a lot of paperwork.
Not a lot of paperwork.
It actually goes fairly smoothly if you.
Then it seems to me your limiting factor isn't advertising, it's processing any people that you're going to get, because it takes months to do that,
Sia,
right?
talk to that.
It
No,
doesn't,
it doesn't. take
Including getting the installer and the plumber to show up and all
you have to
that?
start the
It's not
installation.
sign contracts or sign an agreement.
Oh, he just said it's,
You
So
have to
this
put
is
it-
what
You have
has
to
to
do
happen.
something to start it, so that people know you're going to do it.
See ya?
You have to have the Board of Health approval. And that is, the Board of Health is wonderful. Once the homeowner puts the application together, which I have templates for, I mean, this is a well-oiled machine at this point, honestly. We have templates. People decide, the biggest thing people have to do is decide which system to install. And that's a process of looking at their house and deciding, and a lot of it has to do with price points. And because we've done the incentive program, we have really good information, ballpark numbers on price points for different systems. So a homeowner makes, or a property owner makes a decision on what system. That then turns into a Board of Health application. They usually hear them the next meeting, and they meet twice a month. So that's a pretty quick turnaround to get the Board of Health approval. And then the plumber pulls a permit, because the plumber knows what they're doing, because they've already decided they're going to put in a urine diverting or a composter or this or that. And then installation has to commence. That's the specific language. And that can be as simple as ordering your toilet. And because there's a lead time. So the idea is you've ordered your toilet, you've got your plumbing permit, you've got your Board of Health application, and you're starting to move forward by October 31st. Eminently doable.
Okay, I still think you better alert people to the fact that they,
That's
that's
what,
going to come up on them really, or else you're going to have a lot of, if you succeed beyond your wildest dreams and have half of the 50 people actually interested.
this specifically states, look, you better get on the stick.
And they all want to do it the last week in October, then you've got a
What
problem.
I'm hearing is that we have a plan for August.
Yes, yes,
And that's all we have to have a plan for right now.
right.
So let's go ahead with the plan for August. And is there anything else to be discussed on this first half of question 1 here?
Well, the question was, if we're going to go to the selectmen and ask for some money to do some of these things, whatever it happens to be.
Well, none of them in August cost any money.
Okay, well, okay, we can separate the question
That's
of money from the, let's go
Right.
ahead and say, and how would you like to say the plan from August will work? We have a plan from August to go to these 3 meetings.
Yeah.
We have a plan to contact stations, and I've already begun to do that, to get maybe Mindy Todd or whoever at the point, get all those things done too, to get extra stuff out as much as we can, advertising as much as we can.
CAI, radio.
Yeah,
I think you're forgetting, it was, C is committed to a lot of things. I think the Senate, you're gonna be contacting Mindy Todd,
Yeah.
you're gonna be contacting the Eco Center
Yeah.
for prices.
yeah,
You know, so, not that we can't help, it's just that, you know,
yeah.
And my commitment is if somebody calls the Board of Health and they
Right.
call me, I call them back within the same day.
Right.
Same day turnaround when we get a
Yeah, sure.
call.
You've got a function, and that's your function, and there's not
Right.
going to be any
And
more
I go on a
functions.
site visit within 2 days. So I am not bottlenecking. I mean, we've
Right,
gotten calls.
right, but
right.
you're not doing anything else.
But I'm not doing anything else. That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
That-
That is
right.
what I need to do. I need to
Okay.
get the people who contact the Board of Health because they're
Right.
interested
Yeah,
through the system
right.
as efficiently and quickly as possible.
So we're okay for August, right? We
So I
have
think we're okay
3
for
meetings,
August.
and
Yep.
as much other outreach that you want to do,
That I don't have to go.
it's fine.
Yep,
3 meetings
I
plus
agree.
ads.
You find Warren contacts and you have them contact me one. That's
You
gonna
don't
be-
mean ads, you mean
I don't- I mean
public service,
public service, yeah.
whatever.
Announcements.
Right.
PSA.
Okay.
And one more thing, I would like to bring back, if after doing this, there's all sorts of suggestions of what we might want to do. The Green Center, for example, we got to spend some money.
Okay, so
And so we bring that back and we get approval for that.
to spend money on the Green Center?
No,
if we have to rent it.
you have to rent it.
Oh, yeah.
You have to
See
rent
it?
it.
Okay, well, that's the next issue.
Yeah,
it is-
but
it's
yeah,
not the
I'd have
next
to come
issue.
back with you the next meeting with
Sure.
a proposal to spend some money on those, whatever it was that
Okay.
it seemed we were going to have to do if we're going to have to spend some money. And that we have time to do that, because then we can go back, the next meeting plus before we have to spend that money,
Right,
we can,
okay.
if I have to, I'll spend the money myself.
Well, now,
No,
I heard that.
yeah,
Okay, status of eco-toilet betterment exemption option, has that been sort of touched on? Is there any reason to?
no, I'll
We
just say
just
that,
summarized that
Yeah.
there had been a public hearing, and the rules had been laid out. And approved.
Selectmen
Amended
approved it.
by Win and accepted by the select.
And accept, that's right, yeah.
Okay,
I would like to make a statement. I very much appreciated the fact that Jerry and Sia both worked very hard to make sure that I had 9 different things I had thought about. Some of them I just wanted information, some of them I wanted to change. I very much appreciated the work that they did and the discussions we had to bring it down to things which could be brought to the meeting, which could be approved without question, which could be done in 5 minutes, rather than trying to go through something that would take
Yes.
much longer.
Yes, it was very efficient.
it was.
And I really do appreciate that.
Yep. All right, item 2, status of permeable reactive barriers. Virginia.
Okay, the EPA in Boston has been trying to promote information on permeable reactive barriers, which we call PRBs. And so they invited technical parties to sort of like a seminar on July 1st. And Eric and I were able to listen in by phone. And they had 2 presenters. One was a company called ET Environmental. James Begley is the principal for that. And the second was Camp Dresser McKee Smith, and they summarized all of the work that had been done in Falmouth. And we're familiar with the process that CDM Smith went through, basically in site selection and looking at trenching, and then at the end of their study, beginning to look into injection wells of various types. The experience of ET Environmental was, in fact, in injection, using a modified vegetable oil, which was described as being like skim milk, just to give you an idea of the consistency of it. And so my intent in putting this on the agenda was to let the committee know that we're continuing to move forward in gathering information about PRBs. And that both of these presentations were very well done, and I asked EPA if we could get electronic copies, and ultimately we were able to. So you have both of those. It's a developing field, and the message that really came home for Falmouth was that there just is not enough known about the hydrogeology of these peninsulas. And so we really can't specifically move forward with a demonstration project if we haven't done more work on the geology, the direction of groundwater flow, the thickness of the aquifer, type of soils on these peninsulas. And that's where the CDM Smith report more or less ended up. So I'm just going to, since I'm on that subcommittee, I'm just from time to time going to make you aware of the information as we see it. And it sort of segues into the next agenda item, which is a monitoring well in Mara Vista. The U.S. Geological Survey, as you know, probably remember, has been doing work in seacoast shores and trying to understand the hydrology and soils there. And they were to get a drilling rig for a whole week. I don't know what yesterday's rain did to that schedule, but in any case, they had an extra day, and so they asked the town, is there any place you'd like to have a monitoring well? And we said, absolutely. And they're sort of interested sort of in the bookends, so getting the west side of Mara Vista Peninsula was an ideal spot. And it turns out that the town owns, and it had to be town-owned land, the town owns a small park between Iroquois and Toledo streets. And it's basically mowed, and it has trees and some swings at one end, but it's pretty clear, so you could easily get a drilling rig in there. There was some really fast, coordinated work with the town manager's office, because ultimately the selectmen have to vote what's called a revocable license, which allows, in this case, the U.S. Geological Survey, to put a well in. It's flush with the ground. You wouldn't know it was there unless you were standing right on top of it. It has basically a large metal utility box over it, and it's cemented into the ground, and eventually the grass grows over it. But it can be easily opened if you have the right kind of wrenches. And then inside is the well. And this particular well is going to have 17 ports. So in other words, like every 4 feet, it's going to be able to look at the soils and look at and more in particular, look at the water quality. As it goes down through the aquifer, and we don't know whether they will reach salt water or not. It's going to be about 40 feet, and that's as much money and time as they have, so that's what it is. This was a wonderful freebie for the town, and a great opportunity for us to begin to add to our knowledge. We need to do the same sort of thing for the Acapesca Peninsula, Davisville, and moving on forward. And you will remember at the last meeting we discussed that we have received a $25,000 grant from the Cape Cod Collaborative. And so that work will be doing the same kind of work that this monitoring well, developing the same kind of information that this monitoring well in Mara Vista. That's the report on PRBs at this moment.
Comments or questions?
Because it's come up in other places. When you sample at those multiple port levels, is that what's called a packed well such that we don't average the groundwater over 40 feet. And you know, they can say, well, this is the concentration at 20 feet, 15 feet. Is that the concept?
That is the concept. It's actually more advanced.
Okay.
Originally, they did have what they call packed wells, so that water from a lower level couldn't mix with the upper level. But that limited them to like 2 or 3 levels because you're dealing with screens. You had to have a bigger area. This is less than 2 inches diameter, and it has tiny little tubes that go down that are just like cannula. And each one goes down to, they call it a port, but it's basically an opening. So you have tiny well screens. And so, you know, the pink tube goes at 2 feet and the blue one's at 4 feet and so on and so forth. And so all these tubes come up like spaghetti. There's 17 of them. And then they have an instrument that has 17 things. So the blue gets matched to the blue and the pink to the pink and so on and so forth. And so they're able to sample the water at all those levels, and it goes into little vials and they're all labeled too and so on. So you can efficiently sample 17 different levels in one well with one instrument, and bingo, you've got your sample.
Wow.
And they're going to look at the nitrates, they're going to look at oxygen, they're going to look at the usual parameters that you would for groundwater.
Great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they perfected this doing work in Falmouth from the old sewage plume from the wastewater treatment plant at Otis in off Sandwich Road. That's where this they figured out a better way to sample the groundwater at smaller intervals.
Virginia, do you have any sense of what a 40-foot well of that type with, say, 17 ports costs?
I don't. And I don't want to guess, but it's not exorbitant. We can certainly ask Dennis. The most of the cost is in renting. It's called a hollow stem auger. Most of the cost is in renting the drill, not the. Dennis said he put the 40-foot piece together himself.
Any other comments or questions?
Just to remind what Virginia had said, we're going through with a contract for the $25,000. It was pretty quick. It's being circulated as we speak for Frank's approval, and
Frank Duffy, the town council.
But what I'm asking, does anybody still have the letter from the collaborative, because the accountant will want to know the funding source. You have it?
I have it in my,
Okay.
I don't have it with me, I have it.
No, just send it to me electronically.
I'm gonna send it to you, it's on my list.
All right, next item, constant contact, vote to extend the subscription 1 year, $126,000.
What?
What? I was about to yell out, so moved. You take off the 1,000, right? Yes. So moved.
Only 1,000, 125,000?
Only
Has
$125,000.
it already been a year?
It has already been a year. That is the point I was gonna
Yes.
make.
Why don't you tell us how well it's doing?
Yeah, that's important.
Sia knows better than I do, but I'll tell you before I forget. I was going to bring up at the end a request which costs no extra, that we send out a reminder for the July 30th meeting a week before to our,
Sure.
just a simple, it's the people that have already received it. It
So
worked great.
There's 60-something people who signed up, and 90% of them open their mail. So I get a little feedback from Constant Comment who read their mail. And most everybody who gets it reads it, so it's a...
And that's a watershed of 230 some people.
Yes, that's
So
30%.
So it's almost 25%.
Okay, so 25% of the people get everything we tell them when we send these things out right away. That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do it for a year, the administrative hassle of monthly billing is just none of us are going to do that. And you save 30% if you pay up front for a year.
Right.
Good.
Right, and I highly recommend everybody think about using it because for other things,
I was
because the
gonna ask
margin,
what
I mean, it's in Little Pond.
Yeah.
Don't just think about selling them eco toilets. Think about finding what the populace wants. You know, polling them and find any kind of communication you want. There's no extra cost.
Does it, no extra, the 126 covers as many people as you have on it, or?
Within
up to
reason.
500.
500.
Yeah.
Okay.
500.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
We got a motion? I think we did.
Yeah.
Yep. Second? Further discussion? All in-
Yeah, just
Yes.
what kind of information have we, what kinds of things have they been,
Meeting
what kind of
notices.
feedback have they gotten? Have they given any feedback? Is there anything,
They've sent us.
yes, that they?
No, they have not sent us anything.
Because
We
we haven't
send
asked for
them-
anything.
And then constant
They haven't
contact.
contacted with questions?
They've come to meetings.
Yeah, right. Well, somehow, yeah, right.
There's the
Yeah.
ability to poll people, but we haven't used it.
Okay.
We haven't gotten there. We haven't needed to.
Right.
Right now, we're using it as a meeting notice.
How do you put people on it?
They subscribe.
They subscribe.
Right. There's, on the water quality website, there's a little blue box that says, click here to subscribe to Oyster Pond notices. And we also sent that thing out in the water bill,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
a
which
long
you
time
can.
ago.
Yeah.
Motion made and seconded to extend the subscription for Constant Contact for 1 year for $126. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I think we've done it earlier.
Status of EPA stormwater nitrogen mitigation project, Jerry and Sia.
Sia, we met the EPA folks today, and Sia and Scott Schuler, the assistant town engineer, took them around.
Great.
I think they were pleased.
We had a lovely time. They were very happy because we were able to show them the 3 sites that we would like to have with stormwater.
Right.
The EPA would like to pay for and advertise and monitor a stormwater best management practice for nitrogen and phosphorus removal. So they want to design it, they want to pay for it, they want to install it, and then they want to see the efficacy of their measure, and it's basically a rain garden. So, I mean, there's a more technical name
Yeah.
for it, but the idea is they're rain gardens. And they sent out a request for potential sites, and we responded, and we had 3 of them. And the thing they really liked about our sites is that each of the sites is an instance of a problem that exists in other estuaries. So we have a peninsula with the peninsula road running down the middle and roads going off to the side with storm drains. So how do you build the right kind of a stormwater remediation for nutrient reduction in that small footprint with that much catchment area in that situation? So we have a number of sites like that. So we showed them one site where if they did one, the solution would be replicable. They really liked that. And then the other one is large catchment areas where the pipes are deep, 12, 15 feet. And how do you get that stormwater into
A rain garden.
a rain garden?
A small rain
But
garden.
when you solve that problem, you've actually solved the problem that exists in a lot of places. So these are sort of the idea that if they picked either of those sites, it would be a solution that has broad applicability. And so they really liked that about Falmouth. And I took them, when we drove, we took the shore. So we went by Little Pond, Great Pond, Green Pond, Bourne's Pond. I mean, they saw the entire South Coast and how this was a really consistent issue for the entire town of Falmouth, which I think pictures, windshield surveys worth 1,000 words, so they really got to see it. So that was great. And then White's Landing was the 3rd place we went, and that was the idea of what do you do at a boat landing? How do you handle a boat landing? So we'll see.
Yeah.
There are 4 towns that are, they said that there were 4
Oh.
communities that had submitted proposals. So
Good.
fingers crossed.
Good. Status of National Estuaries Project Grant. This is what we've been calling
The other day.
Give the
Give the-
harbor
give-
a helping
Give the Harbor a
hand.
hand. Right.
Oh, they changed it, okay.
West Falmouth
Yes, it's
septic
not a bay.
It's now the West Falmouth septic system remediation proposal,
Right.
but it was submitted today.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
It's in.
Okay.
When will it be,
Uh,
when will it be adjudicated? When will we know?
I don't know. Soon.
So, okay.
And they want to have contracts signed by October, so
Okay.
soon. Yep.
Any comments or questions on that one? No? Status of Little Pond shellfish demonstration and brochure. See Ron.
Nice for sure.
How's the shellfish demonstration going?
The shellfish demonstration, let's see. Notables are the seed is in the upweller. So the seed that was, this year's seed that was in the upweller is growing famously. I mean, it's just popping, as they say. And it was tested and it tested negative for all diseases.
Good.
So it is able to be relayed, and Ryan, the shellfish propagation project manager, is in the process now of relaying it into Little Pond. We also are starting to relay some of the seed from last year into other estuaries as well. That test was pulled and the results haven't come back, so we're still waiting for the tests on them, but probably in 2 weeks or so, some of those seed will be ready to do the first bit of relay out of Little Pond. DMES put together a lovely brochure. They just showed it to us. It was wonderful not to have to do anything. So Ryan is quite talented.
That was great.
Yeah.
Color, it's even better.
He's quite a talented young man, and is able to really handle the growing operation as well as the administrative side. He's been sending, he's keeping track of everything at a level that is going to really give us information at the end of it. How many bags he's putting out, how many shellfish per bag. I mean, we told him at the beginning, you needed to count everything, and he is in fact counting everything. So that's been great.
Good. Comments, questions, observations?
So how big are for the relay, it's okay,
Yeah.
the relayed one, the ones we relayed, how large are they now?
The ones that we're planning to
Planning
relay,
move, that are being tested now?
about 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Have we looked at any of the?
They're not all 1.5 inches. Some of them are 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of them.
Have we looked at any of the ones we relayed last year?
Oh, we sure have.
How are they doing?
They are doing awesome. They have gotten an inch of growth on them. Do you remember when we went out? Yeah, they look.
That was them.
Yeah, and they're right. Can you
Be
imagine?
another inch already, yeah. They're moving.
They're huge. They're doing
They
great.
were-
These
yeah.
are the ones that have been put into shellfishing areas that
West
are
Falmouth.
presently closed, but will be opened in October for
That's
shellfishing.
Correct.
Yes,
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, they're in West Falmouth and
Green
Green
Pond.
Pond.
and how many are out there?
1 million?
1 million. Okay, at $1 a piece. This is going to be.
Well, not quite $1 a piece. I'm really wholesale. Okay, $1 a piece. So it's $1 million worth now.
There we
I
go.
think it'd be,
$500,000.
I think it'd probably be like $600,000, $700,000 worth. It's wholesale at the end of the harvest time.
Are they all in commercial areas?
No.
They're all no
No.
Open area.
Some,
Open family areas.
family recreation.
that's my question.
Yes. Yep.
They're
Yeah.
both family and
So
commercial?
commercial areas can be harvested by recreational people. They just can also be harvested commercially, and recreational licenses are for the weekend, where commercial are also during the week.
Got it.
So it depends
I
on
didn't
what
get
the October 1st is.
Yeah, that's right.
Who gets what?
Who gets first dibs?
Does that create a tragedy of the commons? I'm a commercial guy. I know that weekend people are coming out on the weekend, so I go in as early as possible during the week and take as many as I can.
You can't take as many as you can. You can take a certain amount per day.
Oh, okay.
There's a daily limit.
October 1st is?
Wednesday. We get 3 days for the recreational guys before the commercial guys.
You mean the commercial guys?
Commercial
Big
guys.
guys.
Oh, they get the weekday. Oh, you're right. Okay, well, now that's a problem.
Well, we might make maybe there's a way to make a plea that
We
it
could
be
also
open.
make it October 5th if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Right.
Is this something that should be advertised well too, so that we get credit for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you
Yeah,
gonna-
I think we're planning to have like a public shellfish day. Like people will come and sample the shellfish and things like this.
Oh,
right?
like they do down in Wellfleet?
Just at Old Dock Harbor at the, so we'll see. We haven't organized that yet, but.
We don't
Ryan-
have to.
Yeah.
Ryan is organizing it.
Ryan is
That's great.
organizing.
Who's
yeah, I mean,
opening these
yeah.
things?
Chuck and Matt and I will be there shucking,
Oh,
and
boy.
Oh.
Who's bringing the
This will be
yingling?
cool.
Is there any liability when you start feeding them to people?
you can ask Ryan.
If it's open by the state.
I believe that if they're open, I think the idea is that people are going to collect their own shellfish, and we're going to do demonstrations of how to shuck. So people learn how to
And
shuck.
maybe the importance of keeping them iced down,
Yep.
because that's the only time from what I understand is
Yeah.
this area when you don't.
You got to ice them down, right?
There
I
are
think
specific rules for that now
Yeah.
that DMF has created, so.
maybe CFF would want to be out there.
CF.
CF. Not Coonamessett Farm Foundation?
Maybe.
CF.
No, I mean, Coonamessett Farm might be, but.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions on that?
People
Yeah.
should know, I think, I don't know if the TV audience knows, SMAS and then also Scott Lindell are doing research projects on the substrate underneath the shellfish to see
In Little Pond.
in Little Pond. And then I think
denitrification.
denitrification, and I think I put Scott on to a potential research foundation grant where the people sounded very interested on continuing that with them.
Good.
But also I think Brian House is also doing that separately.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Is it, Sia responded to my email question about what's the status of the strategic plan with some thoughts, some good thoughts, but I'm still interested whether a strategic plan is not the same as a final report at all.
I wasn't thinking of it as a final report.
What do you see as the timing for that? I mean, I don't see
Timing
it as
for
just
which?
your job.
I
For
know.
whoever wants to come up with a strategic plan for shellfish in the context of this committee, because there's so many other vested interests. And our goal is to use it to reduce nitrogen in some cost-effective way. And not just to say, wow, look, they're growing. I mean, that's great, but we need an overall plan. And we started working on one, and then it just sort of went into limbo. I was curious.
Well, to be fair, nothing goes into limbo, right? It
Well,
gets superseded by more pressing
More
events.
pressing things,
I
right.
think is
But
what
I
happens.
don't think it should be forgotten.
No, absolutely not. Because you're right. Presuming this all works, it has to have a long-term strategy for keeping on working.
But isn't that long-term strategy graduation to the MES, that this is how it can be done, and that eventually, once it's demonstrated how it should be done, it gets into the town operating budget. Not that I'm almost positive every pond will need a mini demonstration project based on the regulators, but I mean, the real strategic plan is to get this up and running, I would think, on its own with the Department of Marine Environmental Services.
Right.
So that, I mean, that's the success. And then the cleanup and all those is counterproductive of if Little Pond gets cleaned up, especially for coliform, it can be opened.
So what do we do then? We got to
Well,
find a new
there's plenty
nursery.
of ponds, I'm sure.
We'll deal with it.
That'll be a nice problem.
I don't want to come up with the strategic plan here and now. It's
No,
not on the
right.
agenda. I'm just saying there should be one, and it should be in writing so that people can't say one thing one day and another thing to another audience. It should be in writing for everybody to see and agree to.
I'll just make a general comment on, as I've watched this project unfolding, and it seemed to me that we needed at least 2 years of well-analyzed data to plan anything strategic before you have some really solid data on survivorship, not to mention disease and other labor costs and so on and so forth. It would be premature. So strategic plan, in my mind, is still on the list of things to be done, but we're not there yet because we don't have all of the data. We have 1 year, solid year, and we're in the middle of the second, and we still need to fund the third year. So if you talk about priorities, we got to chase some money to fund the third year that's required by the DEP.
True enough.
And if I might just add, I think the time that Ron and Matt and I spent surveying our other estuaries, that ground truthing is really important, and we still need to get out to Quistit and to Wacoit. And Wacoit's a big project, and it's just Matt's schedule. And I mean, we need to understand what's even practical there, and then try to, sit down. I mean, as I suggested, to once we've seen what we really have in terms of resources, what works where, and sort of sit down and have a conversation, have the working group, which was you and Ron and Eric, sort of sit down and try to process this, and maybe bring Chuck and maybe talk to the growers and other people to try to get some consensus around it. But I think I think it's in process. It's just not going to get finished.
This year.
In the early information gathering stage at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. That,
Do you need a boat more quiet?
We were going to just drive over the skiff that Matt has. Matt likes driving a skiff.
Okay.
Do you have a powerboat?
I have a little 12-foot.
Oh, all right. I will keep it in mind.
12-foot, it's a skiff.
Yeah, a skiff.
It'll hold 4 people or something like that.
We'll see if he'd rather just. We can. I'll see. Thank you. Yeah, maybe.
yeah, the next item that is one here we'll have to leave the room for. Technical consultant contract. Extension subject to grant award. As we're all aware, the committee on behalf of the town is pursuing at least 3 grant applications, all of which involve some commitment of time and personnel from the town side. And the town, of course, wants to make sure that they're not left holding the bag with this. So they've expressed an interest in having a commitment from the committee that we will, in fact, keep Sia doing what we hope she's going to do on these grants if we get the grants. So that's pretty much why this is on the agenda.
But it's just to fill in the other pieces. At the last meeting, the committee voted to continue her at the same number of hours, 25 hours a week, through the end of January. And the point that the town manager was making was the grants that we've applied for go beyond January 31st. And so some of them only go 2 months beyond, some go a couple months more than that. And the one they give the harbor a helping hand goes into 2016. So it's reduced hours, but it goes out over a longer period of time. And so that's why you might say the process question came up of the town is committing resources to get this grant, but we don't have a vote that says, yes, we're actually going to supply the technical person. So that's why this is on the agenda now.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
What was moved and seconded?
I didn't hear a motion.
Like an amount?
That we
didn't hear about
we
it.
supply the manpower.
The manpower that we've committed to in the grant.
Right.
And so it's no more than that, and so it's, in some cases it's a couple.
Subject to obtaining the grant.
Well, yes,
Right, yeah,
obviously,
yeah, that
this
would be-
all evaporates if we don't get the grants.
Right.
And if we get the grants and whatever comes up at the end of January, which would be another decision point about that position, whether it goes on or not, I mean, we'd still have a commitment to
Yes.
these grants then, so that they would at least go forward
Right.
with
Well,
this
obviously, I
one.
mean, Sia could get run over by a bus. So.
No, I'm not saying, I don't know what you mean by that actually, but.
We need
Standard business jargon. Anybody can be run over by a
No, what I
bus.
mean is that if the grants come through
Yeah.
and the number of hours and she's involved in it, and
Right.
let's say it's not 25 hours a week,
Right.
it's 4 hours a week.
Right.
Right,
Well, then it would continue at least at 4 hours
Right.
and possibly the
Right.
that's
the
exactly it.
supplement.
And
That was my point, Steve, not that she
That's
gets hit by
exactly
a
the
bus.
commitment the town
Yeah.
wanted to hear. So,
Right, right. So
Right.
that just
Yeah.
that, you know, but that depends also on her interest. Should that be the
Sure.
situation?
Well, she
So
can
we-
always quit or something, but
No, I know. No, I mean though is that if it isn't extended, is she committed to
Right.
carrying it forward?
Okay.
So I
Well, that comes closer to a motion.
This is the point.
That was pretty good there. Want to try again?
Yeah, all right. Well, it's just to make a motion that we commit to the town that we will provide the person power or person hours required, to cover implementation of the grants.
Fair enough.
So-
All right, that's a good motion. I heard the seconds already.
Second.
Okay, further discussion? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Terrific. Come on back.
Could you ask Sia to come back on your way out? You never introduced yourself.
I'm Michelle Mateo. I live on Little Pond,
Oh.
Miami. So
Oh.
I'm listening to all of the information,
Oh.
and I wanted to come and
Good.
Come on back.
meet you, and I'll probably come to some of the other
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Have we talked on the phone? I'm Jerry Patamas.
Yes,
Okay.
Jerry, I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Okay,
Glad
thank
to
you.
see you too,
right.
so you're a fantastic person.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for
Come
coming.
anytime.
All right, reports of members and staff. Any others?
The only other thing, I thought Greg Fraser did mail out the fertilizer letter
Yes.
that we saw quite some time back with an attachment details on how to grow a healthy lawn without fertilizer. And that letter went out on July 14th. So I thought we should make public that, and this
Right.
went to homeowners that were within 100 feet of marine water. So it went to the entire town. If you had a property that was within 100 feet of marine waters, you should have received this letter, property owners.
Do we know how many of these went out?
It has not gone out yet.
Well,
I did not receive
It's
a letter.
dated July
I
14th,
didn't-
I'm sorry.
Okay, and your waterfront.
It is, and the letter was written, and the spreadsheet of all the names was collated, and Marine and Environmental Services is having a service stuff the 22,000 envelopes, so they,
How many?
over 2,000.
2,000, okay.
2,000?
Over
You said 22,000.
I was gonna say,
Oh, I didn't, no, I was
Over
gonna say
2,000.
over 2,000.
fine.
And that will probably, the envelopes with the letter and everything will probably come to us on Monday. And then it will run through postage because they had postage in the postage meter. So it'll be midweek next week. That's the goal.
Okay.
So that means that there are 2,000 parcels which can be demonstrated to be within 100 feet
Of our coastal ponds.
of our coastal ponds.
And that's what the first line of the letter says. You are receiving this letter because all or part of your property is within 100 feet of a coastal pond. That was the focus. It wasn't every water body and every well, it was the coastal
Coastal
ponds.
ponds.
Yep.
Why just the coastal ponds?
Well, they're the only ones that have the nitrogen issue. I mean, the inland fresh ponds have another issue, but it isn't that.
Well, I thought fertilizer, I don't remember exactly, but is it only nitrogen fertilizer that
Yes.
this bylaw is concerned with?
Yes.
Only nitrogen.
Only nitrogen.
I see, okay. Well, that's
And it's part of an ongoing educational effort so that they know. I mean,
This letter is one piece of paper?
Front and back, I guess.
it's two-sided.
Right. So we have a lot of room in that envelope. I'm just wondering if there's something else we could put in with it, you know,
A
quickly.
little
if
like a
there's-
toilet letter.
Well, I also,
This is a
this is a
DMES.
start. This is not an end, this is a start.
No, what I mean is that it's for 49 cents.
And
Oh.
$200,
For the printing.
it's $300 to take the piece of paper, print something on it, and fold it and get it in the envelope.
You could get them to sign up with Constant Contact if you want to be able to reach them again multiple times
Remember,
for free.
this is DMES effort.
Yeah,
So,
no, I
I mean, to
know.
get something in that envelope is, a process. Beyond just doing it, folding it, and
Right.
putting it in there.
That we can't do it tomorrow.
I mean,
Oh.
they could put in the shellfish flyer brochure as an idea, just as let people know who are, well, these are,
It's not a bad idea. I mean,
So close.
Probably
if-
for
I'm
next
ju-
year.
I'm just thinking of, you know.
No, it's a good idea.
It's, you know, what is it, 49 cents times 2,000 is $1,000 in postage. So it's just a thought that they already have the thing, so it's like, but again, folding it would be another
well,
cost.
it's about $300 to print a page and fold it. It's another $200 to do it both sides. So $500
Right.
for two-sided. If the committee felt like they wanted something to go in there and wanted to spend,
Just to see.
What if you just put one of those little flyers in like we did with the water bill?
then it would be the money to print it and cut it and stick it in.
So
Oh,
you don't
So
sit, you don't.
We don't have time, I don't think.
Yeah,
How many-
it took a lot of doing to get this together and out.
Right.
Not to mention,
No, how
I mean,
many,
it's
but I'm
been
just
about a
wondering,
year.
how many brochures did they print? Do they have 2,000 brochures?
no, they
somewhere?
printed maybe 40 they only did a hand, they did
Oh,
it to
okay.
hand out.
Oh, okay, I see, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, this is a terrific
Yeah.
initiative
Yeah.
by the Marine and Environmental Services. I mean, these things that we've been starting up, we want other departments to take them over and run with them, and they've done a great job with this. So let's not gild the lily, or whatever the phrase is.
Oh, no, it's a great thing. I was just thinking
Look a
that,
gift horse in
Right.
in this case.
They're doing it. So we should.
For the future, we might think of how we can coordinate things we want to get out to the public in things like this.
Sure. But yeah, we got one out. That's pretty good.
Right.
All right. Any other reports of members and staff? Pretty quiet. That's good. Review and vote on minutes of the prior meeting. Everybody saw them?
Yes, I gave Ally the corrections. I'm just going to say there were you know, a number of names that weren't spelled correctly, so we went through and corrected all of those. On the third page, where it talks about the Bournes Pond Inlet widening contract, it's with GHD and it says Vita, V-I-T-A, but it's really Beta, capital B-E-T-A, so that correction. And then the application to give the harbor a helping hand. What it says now is give the application a push grant. So it's totally scrambled. So anyway, so those are the corrections I made. And
If those are the only mistakes you made, you did a great job.
You did a great job.
It's similar.
And she was right, though, we're pushing the application.
Quite accurate. Right, our next gathering for sure is the 30th at Sea Education at 6:30.
6:30.
It's possible that if we don't have much on the agenda, we might take a side room there and have that be our meeting instead of dragging us all back the next night for another meeting.
Oh,
And I'll know about whether there's a side room,
Right.
hopefully sometime next week.
Right, and we'll
You
know
can
as we
let
get
people
closer
know
to the
by
meeting
email.
whether we have
any
a
issue.
small agenda or a big one, and we need to do it. But if it's a small one, I wouldn't mind having both the same night.
And we would start like at 6,
Sure.
and then
Yeah, well, the 6:30 is a social thing anyway, so we.
Well, I don't have any promise that we can get in before 6:30.
I see.
Maybe we can, but,
Your job is to get us in before 6:30.
okay.
You just tell them, we're coming. If we need to.
But it starts with a social,
Well, that's right.
and then a meeting at 7. I'm
true,
sorry,
too.
the formal meeting at 7.
it's on the 30th.
Is that right?
30th,
Yes.
right.
So, I mean, I would like to be at
So-
the social part of it and the main part. So
Yeah.
if there's a water quality meeting, either have that before 6:30 or after 9.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
we can work that out. But
Okay.
Yeah.
let's see what we've got by way of an agenda as we get closer.
And in connection with that, as the people, this maybe is really an oyster pond working group thing, but it's brief. We have a revised table 5.8 from Wright Pierce. I propose that we post that, if it's okay with Wright Pierce.
What's table 5.8?
Yeah, nobody knows.
It's the bottom line, the list of alternatives
With some sort of pricing.
with pricing.
With pricing.
Okay.
There already is a 5.8 that's posted
Mhm.
in the alternatives analysis,
Okay,
but this is a revised one.
okay.
Like, good ideas from Eric, like using 30 years and 0%,
Change the
real
report.
numbers instead of the incorrect numbers that had been used.
Okay.
So,
Okay, you want to post it? Is there any reason we couldn't?
I don't see any
Shouldn't.
reason not to.
No.
Just my only thought would be if we're gonna, they're gonna revise the report. So instead of having a report with one table and then a standalone bullet under links with just one floating table, I would rather see, I just think it would be less confusing to have a report that has the right table in it. Because you're gonna have then two tables, one in a
Right.
report, one outside
Yeah,
of
no,
it.
I don't think that we can lean on Wright Pierce to redo the whole report just before this meeting.
No, I'm saying that's
So
why we wouldn't.
I was thinking, if it's all right, if it doesn't make the report gobbledygook, to put,
Just a
to
table.
just update that page.
Substitute that one
Just
page.
update that
Substitute
one
the
page in
Some of
the
the-
existing
I
thing.
think that's not.
They can do
this-
that.
That's substituting a chart for a chart
Yeah,
without
exactly.
any narrative change.
Exactly.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, just send it to me tomorrow. I'll just ask Ed to
I can't do
incorporate it.
that, but I can post a new document.
I'll talk with Ed tomorrow, tell him to incorporate it if that's the wishes of the committee, and resend an electronic format with an updated table 5.8.
And anything else he wants to update?
Well, now we're getting,
No,
well,
that
if
he
there's
that he
anything.
wants to.
Okay, that's fair enough if he's cut.
Well, that's right. He did get some suggestions along
Yeah.
the way here, so maybe.
Yeah.
Right, and we did say to him at the working group meeting that what he was going to do is after this meeting on the 30th,
That's true,
he was going to revise the report,
the text.
and then we were going to have a revised report. The whole point of this meeting is to discuss this stuff.
Right,
And
but
get-
since the changes to table 5.8, since table 5.8 is the one table that a whole bunch of people are going to look at without looking at anything else.
Right.
All right.
And there were substantive changes.
I thought
it's
that ought to be
kinda-
posted separately,
You think?
not buried in the report. Yeah.
Well,
That somehow make it available to people. Otherwise, it
Right.
looks like smoke and mirrors, that we posted one thing and then we're discussing something
you
else.
don't want to put two of them out there. You'll spend your whole night explaining why there's two.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I was
Well,
getting at.
you
If you
just
got
have a
one in the
handout
report.
at the meeting too.
But can't you just change it now, like you originally suggested?
So if they wanna
Well,
change it again.
CS doesn't want to change a single page, and there are probably good technical reasons why.
But why don't we just
You can't do
target-
that. And Jerry's saying, get Ed
Yeah.
to send us a revised one, and then see it puts that in
No,
instead
no, no.
of this
Ed
one.
puts it in,
Ed puts it in.
and we repost the entire report
Right.
with the edited
Fine.
table. No revised text,
Right.
Okay.
because it's going to be re-revised,
Okay.
unless he's cut some major typos.
Right. Okay, that makes sense?
Yeah.
That makes
sure.
sense? Great. Let's
I just think, though, that you're then going to have to put some sort of notice that says, this is being reposted with a revised
I'll put
table
that in the title.
5.8,
That's a good
Right.
point.
because there are people who will already
Yes,
have the
true.
report.
And when we send out the reminder for the meeting,
There you go.
it can say that too.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can write that and
Okay.
Perfect,
remember to
perfect.
put it in
All
what
right.
we wrote.
Perfect. All right, motion to adjourn,
Motion to
made
adjourn.
and seconded. Discussion, all in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.